Welcome back to Journey to Novelist. This channel is devoted to new writers and those writers new to pursuing the goal of becoming a published author. This video is one in our series where we are looking for software that is developed specifically for writers, and hopefully it will get you at least 50,000 words of a novel for under $60, and that should get you either the software purchased outright to use as long as you want, or at least 1 year worth of subscription service. So far in 2024, we've looked at Noveler, Novel Easy, Scrivener, Outlining Your Novel Workbook, Plot Factory, First Draft Pro, and Papyrus Author. Today we're going to look at two others. We are going to look at Autocrit, and we are going to look at Campfire. Autocrit has a free forever plan, so it's definitely within our budget. You can get to their software by going to autocrit.com. It is browser-based software. That means you're going to be working on the internet on their particular servers, so you have to have an internet connection while you're working. But then again, you can use it on any type of a system that has a browser, whether it is a Windows system, a Mac system, or even a Linux system. If you have a browser and can get to the internet, then you can use the software. Whenever you're done writing, you can export your files to .docx, .rtf, or .txt, which means you'll be able to get your writing out of the cloud and onto a local system and put it into any other type of file system that you need to. Most other types of word processors and things will handle one of these formats. Any type of a word processor that's trying to stay compatible with Word, which is an industry standard, then they should be able to use the .docx format. And if it can't, then an RTF or a TXT file should definitely work. So those are all pluses for this software. Now let's go ahead and go over to a browser, and we're going to go and look at the website for Autocrit. And you'll see they have a lot of tools here. Most of them have to do with their paid version, and their paid version is outside of our budget, and we'll see that in a minute. But we are going to look mostly at their writer's desk here, which is very new to their software. And they have a plan here. You'll see here, and it changes, and it's $0 per month for their free forever plan, which are essentials for every author, they say. So it's a fully featured writing platform. You have digital note boards and note cards. You have some interactive editing tools, some guidance here, some spelling and grammar checking. And you'll see that their paid versions are outside of our $60 budget. But after your novel's written, you might want to consider paying for one of these for a couple months, or getting an annual subscription if you can get a good deal on it whenever you actually do your editing. I think their editing tools are pretty fantastic. So we're going to be looking at their free forever and their writing tools today, because that's what we're interested in. So I'm going to go over to my other browser here, and I have Autocrit open here. And let me go ahead and go back out to their writer's desk. And that's what we're looking at here. If you come out one more, and I'll jump out here, this is their hub, and it will show you some of their other content that they have on their website, and allows you to upload a file if you have a file you to upload. And then they have the writer's desk, and that's what we're looking at. So we're going to jump right into the writer's desk. Now it comes with a demo file, and their demo file is part of an excerpt from Wizard of Oz, so you can kind of get an idea of what their environment looks like once you have some content in it. And you'll see here, it is one long continuous document. And you can just scroll down and write in this particular page here. Now they do have their drop down here that allows you to jump to various chapters within your story. So that can be helpful when you're navigating your document, because they can get very long. You'll see this particular document currently has 10,139 words in it. So that's about a fifth of what we're aiming for a short novel. You also have bookmarks, so I can jump to any bookmark that has been created in the story. Here is Silver Shoes, and I can jump up here to about the cyclone, and I could jump down here to another chapter here and maybe add another bookmark if I wanted to. And now I would be able to jump to that location as well. So I could jump to Cyclone and then back to But Toto. You'll see that the tools for formatting are very simple. They're here. You can pick your font size. You have your bolding, italics, and underlining, some paragraph styling options, line spacing here, punctuation, some colors, and that is basically it. Some unordered list and indents, and that's your writing environment for writing your story. Nothing too fancy, nothing very distracting. You do have a full screen mode that you can go to take up more space and get rid of all the sidebars. You also have your notes that you can open here. And here are all my notes that were created for this story. And you can go use this 2-column format or a single column format. And you can scroll within the note. Or you can scroll through all the notes. You have a tool where you can highlight all the dialogue in your story. And you have an option where you can change your editor theme. So if you like the dark mode, or you like a more minimalized mode, or page view. So not too complicated there. So let's go ahead and just show you how you would start a project. And I have a sample project here, but let's go ahead and jump into this one. I've just thrown in some Lawrence Ibsen in here. So if I wanted to continue writing, I could just start another chapter and keep writing. And if I wanted to make this a chapter, I could just highlight it, hit the plus button, and there. Now it is a chapter. And now it will list in my list of chapters. You'll see it does list your word count for the various chapters, and you can jump through them pretty easily. And back down to 3. There are some tools for analyzing your story as you're writing it, and they would compare against general fiction. That is the only option you have with the free version. You have some grammar and spell checking here, which I'm not going to do in this Lawrence Ibsen because everything would come up as a misspelling. But we can go back over again to our demo file. And we can see some of the analysis tools here. All of these are locked because they're only part of the paid version. But as you scroll through here, you will see some of them that are available. So I could click this and it would show me all the adverbs for this particular story. And I could easily jump to the word easily. You see I'm using it 5 times and it tells me I should remove about 4 of them. And then there's some other tools here as you go through here. Generic descriptions. It'll go through and it will show me some very generic words I'm using that I might want to change and make more specific. Check your word frequency. And these are tools you can use to improve your writing as you're going along and keep them in mind. Or you can use them after you've gotten your first draft written. And it just gives you a sample of what the full version of Autocrit can do after your story is written. But we're mainly looking at those writing tools and the fact that it does have that environment where you can jump in and actually write your story in their actual browser now. And you can do it for free. So that is Autocrit. And again, you can get to that at autocrit.com and use their free forever plan. So with that, let's call Autocrit one of our options and move on to looking at Campfire. Now, Campfire has been around for much longer than Autocrit has, and they have a much more detailed plan and what they have available. They do have a free limited plan, but it does not meet the 50,000 words requirement that I would consider necessary for writing a novel. You can get to the Campfire writing software through campfirewriting.com. They are browser-based, but they also have a Windows or Mac OS version of software that you can download and use locally on your system. They also have mobile apps for use with ISO tablets and devices, as well as apps for Android devices, such as phones and tablets. Now, whenever you're looking at those different things, the browser version of the software has the most features available. The desktop versions for Windows and Mac have a few less options because it is limited in some of the searching capabilities that it can't do locally. It has to have the internet for. And the mobile apps have fewer options and fewer activities that are available. They're a little bit more pared down than the browser version. They have a payment structure that is pay per module. So even though the free plan doesn't quite meet our requirements, their module-based system means you can get a relatively low-cost version of their software, just picking the pieces of it that you need that is very specific for your writing style and your subjects. When you're done writing, you can export out to .docx, PDFs, HTML, and .rtf. And RTF, in case you don't know what that is, it stands for Rich Text Format and is a pretty universal type of format. It's pretty basic and pretty much any type of software should be able to read that in. So those are your different options when you're exporting. Now, with their module-based plan, they do have a recommendation for what novelists should get. They recommend characters, timeline, manuscript, relationships, items, and encyclopedia as part of a package specifically for novelists. So if you're buying this for somebody else, they would recommend you get them these particular ones. But since you're buying it for yourself, if you're watching this, then you would want to pick the modules that works for your style of writing, because if you're writing a horror novel, you might need something different than somebody that's writing a fantasy novel. And you'll see that when we look more specifically at what their modules are. With that said, let's go ahead and jump over and look at their website. And I have it here. Let's just go to their main page here. You'll see, first of all, on their main page, some screenshots of what their software looks like whenever it's being filled out. And they have a little video so you can get some idea of what they have. And you'll see here, you can run it in your browser, Mac or Windows. And of course, they also have apps. So let's go ahead and look at their pricing plans. And we're going to look at their author tools to start with, because under author tools, you'll get a list of all the different modules they have. And here you see that they have their free version. And for writing a novel, you would need to have their manuscript module at a minimum. So if 25,000 words was not enough, which is not as far as I'm concerned, then you would need to pay $1.50 per month, which that is like $15 per year under their annual plan, I believe. Here you go, annual plan, $15 per year, which means you actually get 2 months for free. If you're paying for an annual subscription, it would actually end up being less than $1.50 for a month worth of service. So that's pretty good for writing your manuscript. Now, I'm going to jump back again for monthly cost. And you'll see here that they have quite a few modules. There are actually, I believe, 18 of them. And if you're writing a manuscript or a novel and you're using a manuscript and you're paying for that, that doesn't mean you can't use the free modules for everything else. So you could get away with only paying that $15 a year or $1.50 a month, and that would basically work if you didn't need any of the other modules, and you could use whatever their free version has. So the free version of characters allows you to have 10 characters. So if you only need to define 10 characters, then the free version of the character module would work for you. So you could very easily get a low-cost platform that meets your needs for the price within your budget. And you can do some pricing tools by coming over here to the gift Campfire. And under here, you'll see all their modules listed, their 1-year subscription, or their lifetime access if you want to just plunge in and get lifetime. And you can select the modules that you might find useful. And it will give you, here it will give you the subtotal of what your cost would be for what you have selected. So you kind of get a running total as you choose things on and off and decide what you might need for your particular stories. So maybe that's all I would need, and I could get by with $50 for my annual subscription. So that's how you could do your pricing and choose your modules for Campfire. So now that we know how much it would cost and we can see that we have a large selection of things available, let's go ahead and go over to the actual software and see what it looks like. I have it open here. I'm going to go to the right section, and you'll see here it would list the projects I have available, and I only have the one here that I was playing around with, so that's what we're going to look at. I'm going to just go ahead and open that project. And it takes a little bit of time to gather up all the information from all the different modules and display them. And this is your dashboard. And it shows all the different elements here, all the different modules that I have. And as you expand and collapse the different pieces, you can see that I have 2 characters listed here. And I have a couple of events shown on my timeline. I have a magic system shown here. And I'm going to go ahead and change the theme, which you have different themes here. I'm going to just go to the Campfire theme, and this is the basic Campfire theme. And you'll see some stats here on my project. But I could go to this magic system. I have one I started, but maybe I wanted a new one, and I hit the plus, and it will warn me that I exceeded my limit and ask me if I want to upgrade. Right here it says I've used one of the 1 available for the free module. And you can see here with the characters, it does the same thing. It says I have 2 of 10 used. And I was playing around with these, so it's kind of messy. You can actually move these around wherever you like. The default one looks more like this one. And I could add a new character. And there's my cards, my different panels. And I could add a new panel if I wanted. Maybe I wanted to add another image panel. And I could add that up here. And it lists all of the different modules to the side here, whether you paid for them or not, so that you can use your free versions, or you can use the ones you've paid for, which I have not paid for anything at this point. You'll see I have 3 chapters listed here, so you see what the writing environment looks like. And you have notes on the side, so these are your note cards, which you can turn on or off. And you can move them. Or delete them. You have a focus writing mode. And you can turn the cards off if you want. And it gives you your word count here. Just hit the escape key to get back. You can view your comments on your story, line spacing, paragraph styles, zoom functions. So that is how Campfire looks, and there are a lot of different modules, and each module has a few different functions in it, so I'm not going to go through every single module. The most important to know is that you do have this writing module. It tells me I've used 68 of the 25,000 words available in the free, and then the little question says here I can upgrade to more if I need to. So you can explore that through using their free limited plan if you like. So that is the Campfire plan, and like I said, they do recommend certain ones for the novelist here. So that gives you 2 new softwares that you can try out if you are looking for software for writing a novel in. Both Autocrit and Campfire do have free versions available. You can try Campfire for up to 25,000 words for free and try out all their different modules with their free plan. And with Autocrit, you can write as many words as you want for $0, and that's free forever, and have a few editing tools when you're done. Both of them do have browser-based versions, and Campfire does have those different downloadable versions and their app versions. So it all depends on what you need. So hopefully this helps you and gives you more options for finding software if you're trying to write a novel. Come back again next time where we will add even more software to our list, because there are more out there, and all I want to do is make sure you know you have options. Remember, there are free versions out there, with Autocrit also being a free version. So join us again here on Journey to Novelist.